I was lucky to grow up in a sex positive family. My dad, particularly, was very much determined to make sure that I don't grow up with shame and guilt around those topics. And as every child would ask questions, I'm certain that I did too. And he just gave me a matter of fact kind of answers, no questions like, where did you hear this? Or judgments like, you don't need to know this, you're too young, or anything like it. He just answered as a matter of fact at a like stage appropriate level. So if say I was 5 years old and I asked where do babies come from, he wouldn't lie about a stork or something. He would just say, well, again, that's back in the days. He would just say, well, when a man and a woman want a child, the man would give a seed to the woman, they'll plant it in her belly, and then the belly would grow and the baby would be in there. And that's how babies are made. So to a 5-year-old, I didn't, need to know about vaginas and penises and all these things, but I knew still the reality of it, in a very dumbed down
But
fashion.
that's what we need to do with kids, and we
Yeah.
need to empower them with the truth that they need to know at that stage. So well done to him. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And my mom gave me a book when I was like 10 or 11 years old about the female body, and it contained everything from puberty to old age, from pleasure and the clitoris to cancers, growth around the ovaries, and all of these things. So by the age of 12, I was pretty much the sexpert in my friends group and in the neighborhood, etc. And sex was never a big deal for me exactly because of that. I never felt that, oh, this topic, But a lot of my friends did feel that because they weren't that fortunate to grow up with sex positive parents that gave them the resources to learn. And I became that go-to person for a lot of people. And when I was a teenager at 14 years old, a non government organization came to my school. They held a talk about domestic abuse and human trafficking. And I was absolutely astonished that for the first time in my schooling career by this point, I learned something about real life in school. And it wasn't even delivered by the school. I was like, wow, I want to know more about these things. And they invited us to their youth club. And they used to take us on like 5-day trips where we'll sit in circles and talk about how power works, how toxic relationships develop, how to recognize abuse, what is peer pressure. So it
Oh,
kind of gave
wow.
me a really good, solid understanding of those things. Also, like how to protect yourself, how to have like safe words and even conversation lines with friends and family to alert them if something is wrong in a non-conspicuous way so that they understand that you are in trouble and you need help.
Wow. And how old were you then?
14.
Wow, so this is pretty good learning because even if your family had been open in terms of talking about sex, it's still a very good age because, yes, we can be open, but there's still just the act of sex, doing it for the first time and taking your clothes off. Like there's just different feeling with that. Even if you're not feeling ashamed, there's definitely awkwardness and so on. So it's very good to learn that very early on and to learn about toxicity in relationships and the power that sex can play.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, the whole, awkwardness that's there for a lot of people when it came to sex wasn't there for me.